morning, Elmira Baptist Church. It is Thursday, January 19th, 2023, and I think you're going to be excited when you come to meet with us for worship this coming Sunday, because they've got some sidewalks that they're working on today, Thursday. Should be dry here by the end of the day tomorrow, and you'll be walking on those by Sunday. It'll make it much nicer when it rains. We don't have to walk through all that gravel to get to the church building. There are a couple spots that are not yet completed because construction is still going on, but there'll be one nice walkway right along the east side of the building here that'll give us access to that south parking lot. By the way, some of you may wonder that you've noticed I pretty consistently park all the way down there on the south parking lot. You may wonder why I do that. Well, I'm staking out my parking spot. You know how people, they sit in the same place in church just because it's sort of habit? I've noticed with parking, it's about the same way. People tend to park in the same place. Well, by faith, I'm looking forward to getting into that new building, and I want to park as close to those front doors as I can. So I'm getting in the habit now, and I encourage you to consider the same thing. When we get to the devotional, we're going to be looking at Colossians 4, 2 through 3. Those verses say, "Continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving, withal praying also for us, that God would open unto us a door of utterance to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in bonds." And the quote of the day is this, quote, "Nobody can force a single soul to turn to Christ. All that we can do is to lift up Christ before the world, bring him into dingy corners and dark places of the earth where he is unknown, introduce him to strangers, talk about him to everybody, and live so closely with him and in him that others may see that there really is such a person as Jesus." End quote. That was Betty Stam. Now this Sunday, we're going to be back to our devotional disciplines, and this time we're going to discuss a crucial piece, the discipline of church membership. I'm going to ask you to read Psalm 92 to prepare your heart for this message. This discipline, remember, these are devotional disciplines. Devotional because we love God, we love Jesus, we want to do things for him. Disciplines because they're intentional, they're conscious. We've got to make a decision and then make ourselves do it. And it goes beyond just attending church. That's good. But it's committing to a body of believers and a body of doctrine and a place of service. So prepare your heart for the message, the discipline of church membership. And then in the afternoon, remember, this is our praise and fellowship week. So in the afternoon, we'll meet about 1:30, 1:40, and we're going to have an opportunity to talk about how God has blessed us richly. Write down your answers to prayer, write down your praises, write down your testimonies of God's goodness, and plan to share those with us in the afternoon. And then we'll conclude that service by looking at another phrase in James 1:19. Last Sunday night we looked at, "Let every man be swift to hear." This coming afternoon we're going to look at slow to speak. And I call it speaking when important. But we'll look at that slow to speak. Now, I'm going to encourage you, again, write down your praises and testimonies and pray and ask God to prepare your heart for the time of worship this Sunday. Our goal is to live stream Sunday school, morning worship, and then that afternoon praise and testimony time, and then post those to sermon audio. Keep in mind that there is no football playoff game more important than meeting with God's people to worship. Kim, our bookkeeper, has completed the giving statements for 2022, and we've put those in your box. So if you have a box here at Elmira Baptist Church, let me encourage you to take that out of the box this coming Sunday. If you do not have a box here and are expecting a giving record, the ushers will have access to those. Please see an usher. They're supposed to find you, but my guess is you're going to want to ask an usher for that giving record. And that saves us postage. We will mail it to you if you do not take it from your box, or if you're expecting a giving statement and you don't come to services and we don't see you, we can't hand it to you, we will mail it to you. But postage is getting expensive. In fact, I'm considering buying forever postage stamps for my retirement savings. If I buy them this year and sell them when I retire, I should be able to make a pretty penny. So we want to save that postage. You pick up your giving record. We've got a lot of things going on. Our church works this way. We have a couple weeks, maybe a month. It's sort of slow, not a whole lot on the calendar. And then, boy, it seems like everything comes at once. We're in that everything comes at once phase. Here's what we've got. This coming Saturday, January 21st, if you want to meet me for prayer at 9 o'clock, that's great. At 10 o'clock, we're going to go out and do some visits. And I have got a stack of visits. Visitors, folks that are shut in that we'd like to get by and see. So folks can knock doors. You come on out this Saturday, 10 o'clock, and I'd be happy to give you a visit to make. On Sunday, January 22nd, is our Food and Fellowship Sunday. The theme is Winter Warm-Ups, and we'll follow that with a time of praise and testimony about 1:30 or 1:40. So bring a dish when you come. And again, just take that directly to the ministry room. Leave it there with the ladies that you'll find there. We're looking forward to a time of food, fellowship, and praise and testimony. Next Wednesday, January 25th, from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening, is Lynn Granger's viewing at the Milton Carpenter Funeral Home. The address for that is 569 North 1st Street in Dixon. 569 North 1st Street in Dixon. And that's a viewing from 5 until 8. We will meet for a time of Bible study and prayer here at this location, as we normally do on that Wednesday night. The next morning, Thursday, January 26th, there's a committal service at the Sacramento National Cemetery, starting promptly, military promptly, at 10:15. I did check. You are all welcome to be at that if you'd like. And then we're going to follow that with a fellowship here at 6111 California Pacific Road here at the church's facilities. It'll start probably about 10:50 or 11 o'clock. After we finish the committal service there, we'll come directly here. You're welcome to come to that as well. And some of you have already signed up to prepare food. Thank you. Thank you. Signing up to prepare food does not commit you to come to any of these fellowships or services. If the most you can do is make some food and drop it off, I am very grateful for that. But you are welcome to come and encourage and bless the family with your presence. Friday, January 27th, 6 o'clock in the evening, is our teen event at the Baumgart's house. Saturday, January 28th, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my family and I invite you to our house for an open house. We want to show you God's blessing to us. We want you to feel comfortable to come by and visit anytime, but particularly during this open house. And that's from 1 to 4 o'clock. The address of our new home is in the bulletin. Sunday, January 29th is our Singspiration. Sign up to present music or a reading, or if you have a favorite congregational hymn, put that on the list and we'll try to sing that. Thursday, February 2nd, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon is the homeschoolers meetup here at the church. And then Sunday, February 12th, after the evening service, we'll have our annual meeting. So those are some of the things that are coming up here in the next few weeks. I hope you'll continue to pray for the Granger family. Len passed away last week. There's preparations going on for next week's arrangements, and be praying for Marge. Let's consider now Colossians chapter 4, verses 2 and 3. Colossians 4:2, continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving. Verse 3, withal praying also for us that God would open unto us a door of utterance to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in bonds. That's Colossians 4, verses 2 and 3. Notice he says here, continue in prayer. Are we praying for opportunities? I try to start my mornings with a prayer, asking the Lord to prepare me to be a witness to whomever crosses my path during the day. Sometimes I know I'm going to meet with someone and I want to present the gospel to them, but even when I'm not scheduled to meet anyone, I want to be ready. So, praying, and then second, there's these open doors. We're praying that God would open unto us a door of utterance. I'm concerned that so often we walk right by those doors of utterance. They're open. We could say something. We could preach Christ. We could say, how would you describe your relationship with God? And start down that path to give them the gospel, to sow that precious seed. But maybe we're busy, or maybe we're distracted, or just there's a lot going on. We say, I didn't see any open doors today, and they were there. We just missed them. So let's not only pray, but let's believe that God's going to answer our prayers and make an opportunity to walk through those doors. Look for those open doors. Expect those open doors to be there. Now, there's one other thing I want to point out, and that's at the end of these verses, for which I am also in bonds. Paul says, the whole reason I'm in prison is because I'm known as a preacher of the gospel. So pray for me that I can preach the gospel more. Isn't that odd? He doesn't ask that he would be released from prison. He doesn't ask that all his enemies would fall down with heart attacks. He doesn't ask for deliverance. He asks for more opportunities, even though it's those same opportunities that are getting him in trouble. So let me encourage you to pray and ask the Lord for opportunities to be a witness, and then expect those open doors. And when you see them, walk right on through them. Remember, there's only one thing on earth that you can take to heaven with you. That's a friend. I suspect that next week's update will be postponed because of the fellowship at the church. So I can't say for sure when I hope to post that update, but I intend to post one, so stay tuned. Remember that this Sunday is our chance to meet with each other, to worship the Lord, the one who gives us those opportunities to preach the gospel. We'll meet at 9:45 for Sunday school, 11 o'clock for morning worship, have a time of food and fellowship, and then follow that with a time of praise and testimony. What could be more important than worshiping God together? Join us.